Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Goat Talk Live here on ATYL Media. I want to thank our sponsors. We're presented by SAVE22 on our hats right here. And we're here on September 11th. And, we really don't have to talk too much about this day. Everybody kind of understands what this is all about. And, just a day of remembrance always. I think if you're an American, I think it'll be something that we always want to remember, and an important day that changed a lot of people's lives in good or in bad ways. And so just wanted to remember those folks. And hey, we're glad to have everybody here. We got Patrick Rabbit, we got Logan Threlkeld, and we got Andy Karnes here with us tonight. This is the Sim Expo bunch, and we wanted to get them on here and talk to them and get y'all's thoughts about this past weekend. It was a lot of fun, it seemed like. But we're gonna start off with, well, first off, how y'all doing tonight, Pat, Logan, Andy?
Doing good. Glad to be here. Glad to be back.
Good to be home.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have everybody in chat, everybody watching, and of course, we're going to start off talking about September 11th a little bit, and we kind of talked pre-show about what we wanted to do, if we wanted to talk about it at all, and I think the consensus was, yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people to remember. We all have memories. We're all affected by it. Everybody that has a American citizenship, and even others are affected by that day. So. Just kind of wanted to start, Pat. If we could start with you and just your thoughts or your memories of that day, or just whatever you want to say about it.
Yeah, so at that point in time, I joined the Navy in 1993, so I'll start to age myself pretty quickly here. So I'd already been serving my country for 8 years at that point in time, and I remember getting a phone call that morning and somebody saying, "Hey, you're watching TV. Are you watching TV?" And I'm like, "No." They're like, "You need to turn it on now." And then I saw, the second plane hit the tower, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And then of course, it's shelter in place. It's all those types of things. Vacate where you're at. You need to secure yourself and secure everything around you because no one knew what was happening.
Yeah.
And then it's I gotta stop for a second. Sorry. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
A lot of good people lost their lives that day. But, I got to see the resolve of our country, of all those men and women I got the privilege to serve with. And, Jesus. Not that I didn't know it before, but I knew what I was doing with my life had purpose, that I was here to defend this great country. And I've never felt more proud to wear the uniform. And so for as long as I did for 24 years, it's just, so yeah, I mean, different days hit differently for different people. And I didn't realize this was getting ready to happen to me. So sorry.
Don't be sorry.
But yeah, it was, there's no greater purpose than to serve others. And, that day definitely, reaffirmed that for me. I continued on for there. So, yeah. Okay. That's enough of me.
No, man, we love it. Logan, what about you, man?
Well, I'm going to go the opposite spectrum here. I was only 4. So it was one of the earlier memories that I unfortunately have is, being ready to take my grandparents to the airport for them to go on vacation, and being at home watching all of it unfold at that age. It changes how you look at things and how you perceive things. And I think that's, exactly like this is why I love this community as much as I do. It's just moments like these change people, and love being able to help, with these moments.
Yeah. What about you, Andy?
Um, I joined the U.S. Army in March of 2001, so I was definitely not part of the guys that joined after the fact in order to be, patriotism and I joined because I needed a resume. I was kind of a piece of shit and as a human being, and I needed to build a resume, so I went to the U.S. Army to get my shit together. And I reported my duty station August 28th, 2001, and I'm
Wow.
an E2 private, and I've been in my duty station for 2 weeks. And I'm from a small town in Indiana, and now I'm living in an army post in Germany, halfway around the world. Despite my age at 23 years old when I joined, I was still, a child inside, and I had a lot of growing up to do. And 9/11 happened. We were cleaning weapons, and we were doing weapons drills and cleaning weapons that evening. And that night, by 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, here I am, a 2 week duty station private, and I had full battle gear on, and I manned a door. And they said, "You stay in here. If they are not in a military uniform, you tell them to go around to the front desk. And if they try to enter that door, despite your discouragement, you will shoot them 3 times." And you were loaded with a full magazine, and I'm protecting our barracks because we didn't know the complexity of the attacks. So that was my 9/11, and from there, we had officers and higher ranking members of our post lived in a community and in an apartment complex in Germany, and they had a school that they sent their kids to, and it was a little private American community. We lived there for 30 days patrolling the streets of that community to protect the women and children of our service members. And I lived on the floor of an elementary school for 45 days. And you worked, 12 hours on, 8 hours off. And that was your rotation for 45 days. So your days get really jumbled up real quick when you work 12 hours on, 8 hours off, and you have to shower in a school sink and eat MREs and things, and you do that because the love of your country and to trying to protect others. Like Pat said, you're just at that point you're just serving others. It's not about the sleeping on the floor of a school. That doesn't matter. All those things go out the window. You just do what you have to do to accomplish the mission. And that was kind of my 9/11. And then from there, I've deployed and got to take part in that and fight that war and take the fight back to the enemy in Iraq. And I was not really thrilled to do that when they said we're going. I was in Kosovo on a deployment when they said, "Hey, we're going to go home for 5 months and train, and then we're going to redeploy." I wasn't thrilled with that idea or that mission. But there's something honorable, and I'm very passionate about that. I got to take the fight to the sons of bitches that were part of it, and it was. You're going to feel a little of our wrath, and at the end of the day, I hope you remember my name.
Well, I appreciate y'all sharing those. I was in 7th grade, but I remember the weight of it. Even in 7th grade, I realized right away what this meant. As far as this is big. This is not a small thing at all. And then you see it, go over over the next, the rest of the day, all the things that happened. And all the heroes, man, that I kind of talked about. I love to go back and watch things and try to remember as much as I can. Being in the 7th grade, your thoughts, you don't really know what to think about it. You don't understand the weight of it fully, but to go back to it and watch it now and to see, one of my favorite things is how we came together as a country and how strong we were in that moment, how unified we were, to be able to, everybody came to, to people were coming to New York to help. They wanted to be there. What do I got to do? Just tell me where you need me to be. The heroes on flight 93, Todd Beamer. I had this up just a second ago. I wanted to read their names, but I don't know why it's gone now. But I see why. But those guys on Flight 93 that took that plane down, gave their lives to protect their country and what other targets they had. Just unbelievable. The nurses, people in construction, people who just showed up and said, put something in my hands, put this, let me do stuff. People that were in reserve that came out and decided to what do I got to do? I'm here. Uh, it's a terrible day, but to see American resolve, to see how America can respond in moments where we feel like our freedoms are threatened, it gives me chills to think about how they responded on that day, and how our government, our politicians all responded in support of all the first responders, and it's really it's what Goat Locker is all about. It's about those who showed up that day, and that's who we celebrate. That's who we are lifting up. That's who we're glorifying when it comes to glorifying a person. Is those exact folks? Everybody that was involved those days that lifted a pile of rubble. Took in somebody. Bus people in. There were some bus drivers who were continuously busing in firefighters from other parts of the city, trying to get them in there so they could help and be a part of it. Just an incredible show of American strength, and it's worth going back and watching and remembering those. We remember the attacks. Everybody remembers the buildings falling. That's what they show. They remember the people who leapt out of the buildings. Just a disaster. They talk about that, but it's really amazing what we were able to do as a country to come together and support New York and those people's families and stuff in those moments. And it's just an incredible show of strength. So, it's whenever you wonder, what can American be? Well, what can America be? How good can it be when we feel down about the way things are? I look to those moments as these are our defining moments as a country, and that's how I feel about that. So I hit you with a Forrest Gump. That's all I've got to say about that. But yeah, so we didn't want to spend the whole episode talking about 9/11, but gosh, having one on September 11th and not talking about it at all would just be a travesty. So anything else y'all wanted to share? Anything y'all wanted to talk about that before we move on?
No, just that. Well, I say no, and then I start talking like an idiot, right? People do that. No, I don't have anything to say. Wait a minute, I got something to say. That is why Goat Locker Racing exists. It exists because of that passion. It exists because we want to continue to serve. I do fully believe that there is no greater purpose in life than to serve others. Yeah. And there is no greater way to do that, I think, than to be a part of the military, to serve your or a first responder, to serve your communities, to serve your country unselfishly. Yeah. And so any chance that we get a chance to honor any of those people, we do that. And, we do it in our own little way here at Goat Locker Racing. We do it through racing and all kinds of fun stuff. But it is good every now and again just to take a pause and really remember why we're here and really celebrate those folks, almost 500 of them that are in our Discord. Whether you're, a veteran, active military, reserves, a firefighter, police officer, EMT, or you're just here because you love our mission and you want to support everybody. I can't say thank you enough. And we're only going to get bigger, and we're only going to keep growing, and we're only going to continue to serve more and more people. So thank you to everyone. And I'll turn off the waterworks because nobody wants to see that anymore.
I love the emotion, man, because I think we've all kind of felt that way about it for sure. Well, let's move on. No good way to segue away from 9/11 stuff, but just I was telling y'all before the show, you'd love to go back and just watch the videos, and I encourage you to go back and watch the stories, hear the stories from the people who survived, who were there, and hear their story. Don't forget them. The people who died, we will definitely never forget them, and obviously that's a huge part. But the people who were there, putting their lives on the line to save others, be there to help to clean up all this stuff. Remember those folks as well. I want to remember those people, the people who are still living, that survived and have a great story to tell, and they need people to hear it. So definitely take some time today and watch a few videos about that. And anyway, but Goat Locker, man, we got a lot of stuff going on. You three I'm super jealous. You got to go to the Sim Expo in Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys all came back with big smiles. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know what went on in the house, but it seemed like y'all had a really good time. The pictures that were shown were pretty incredible. So I wasn't there, so I'm going to shut up now. And yeah, how'd it go, guys? Tell us all about it.
Well, I mean, it was. Well, first and foremost, besides all the things that happened with Goat Locker, which was absolutely amazing, and we'll talk about quite a few of those things. Just from a nerd, a racing nerd, walking into that building, you can't help but start drooling. Like, SimiCube's right next to us, and they got a $150,000 simulator there, crazy, just absolutely ridiculous. And there's multiple of those of around all over the place. And you're just geeking out. That was from day one as we were setting up and all that stuff. So it was a little sparse around there, and we're trying to get everything dialed in. And I tell you what, go back to that picture if you could, Eddie, of the truck just parked there. So this is one of those things, and I'll tell it. Andy had to catch me here for a second. So I always talk about how passionate I am about Goat Locker racing. I've given my life to it. This was one of those moments where I shed a couple of tears as well, knowing we parked the truck there. I'm snapping a couple pictures, and Andy kind of looked at me. He's like, "You all right, man?" And I'm like, "It's just one of those moments for me that let me know that we're here." And we're able to be on this bigger stage and do things for more people. And then little did I know, 3 days later, Andy was going to have me working like a $3 cashier at Walmart on a Friday night, packing that damn trailer full of stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, it was just so freaking cool being there, seeing how many people were intrigued by Goat Locker racing. They're just like, you can move past this picture now, Eddie. You can keep going if you like. It's up to you. You do you. From
you don't have to talk about the pictures. We're just
I know.
I'm just playing this while you talk. So.
Yeah, but
Oh, there you go. There's your 150,000.
Crazy, absolutely crazy stuff in there. But so many people were fascinated by our mission. Of course, everybody that's in there, they know SimCube, they know Gomez Industries, SimLab, Husinkveld was there. So all these names. And you're looking at the different products and all the other kind of crazy stuff. And, but everybody kept stopping by like, what the heck is Goat Locker Racing? Like, what are you guys doing? Because we're there with Alexander PCs. And so we got to talk to so many people about our mission, what we're all about, get them interested in what we're doing. And, I can't say enough thanks to Dan Krakeel. I mean, that dude worked his butt off. He helped us set up. He was there, a couple days. I'd like to say thanks to guys like Logan, but he really didn't do anything at all. He just kind of stood there and raced on the rig a couple times, and that was about the end of that.
And did not fast lap.
Did not get the fast lap on the rig either, but the whole Ellingson family showed up, and they were incredible. Cody Anderson was, he was another no load, just like Logan, so, but that's another one of those really cool moments for me. I soak those moments in, man, because I get to know people over the years, and I've known Logan probably a couple years now. Hell, I don't even know. Never met the man in person. He's done a tremendous amount of work for Goat Locker Racing, calling races, being involved in the community, talking a lot of shit in the community. But it's just been incredibly involved, and I've never got to meet the man in person. So that was a fun moment for me. And then when I see all these people that come together around our mission, that want to be a part of it, that drive down from Milwaukee, that drive up from Illinois, that drive from St. Louis, and they all just want to be there to be a part of it and be around each other. Again, that's another one of those moments that lets you know, yeah, I think we're doing this right, and I think we're definitely doing it. That's a cool photo too, by the way. I mean,
yeah, I stopped. I was like, oh, this is a good way to end what you're saying.
Yeah. So I'll shut up now. I'll let other guys talk, but and I'll let Andy talk about some of the partnerships that we got and things along those lines. I won't dive too deep into that because that man was working the floor. Like he was a $2 dancer on a Friday night. I mean, he was working the floor.
That's all the work, baby. It's $2.
Yeah.
That's all you're getting.
Yeah, and it was, so we made some incredible partnerships, some things moving forward. Apparently, I was featured on some podcasts of some pretty big dudes I knew nothing about. But yeah,
no,
man.
just kidding. We know all about you, Matt Malone.
Oh, sorry.
He's just playing.
Yeah.
He's trying to be modest.
The rest know all about him. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, partnerships, all that other stuff, awareness, everything. The most special moment to me was that photo of all of us standing together. Because again, that's what Goat Locker Racing is all about. Just bringing people together in a community. And doing things like that for TJ, who is just an incredible supporter of ours and an Army veteran himself. So I said I was going to shut up and then I kept talking. So I'm going to really shut up now. So I'm out.
Well, one of you, Andy, Logan, y'all tell us anything, stories, fun things that happened, or just your experience with the Sim Racing Expo.
It was great for me because I got to see, I saw Sean Cole. If you don't know,
is that a rapper?
The Sim Pit. Sean Cole is the OG, the godfather of sim racing. Sean did YouTube videos back 15 years ago about how to build a 2x4 sim rig, a PVC build for under $200, and he give you the cut list and how to cut it down and do it because
he's a sim racing legend for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And he was doing it back. You got to understand, when I was in that room, Pat had his moment when we were at the truck, taking a picture of the truck, in Chicago. I had my moment when I was standing there looking at a couple, I don't know, 10 or $20 million worth of sim gear in one room. And I'm looking at it going, I remember when Sean was teaching us how to build rigs out of 2x4s because none of this shit existed. None of it. There was no commercial application to any of it. You had a desk mount or you had to DIY it. And they talked about iRacing back then and how authentic it was. And to me, that was great. And he started off on this great thing about video games through the years to get us to this point. And it all started. And for me, it was 100% real. It started with pole position on Atari, the console game for a quarter, and tried to beat the pole position, the game. That's where I started my career, my journey, and my love for racing, and getting into like the Ivan Stewart 4-wheel drive games and things like that. But he did a great presentation, got to meet him, got to talk to him, got to bring him over to the Goat Locker tent and just tell him a little bit about our mission. So really excited to work with Sean. GTR simulators, Howard GTR, we love you. We thank you for your partnership. We thank you for belief in our mission. We thank you for your friendship, and we can't wait to show you what partnering with Goat Locker is really all about, because we do believe in partnerships. We'll take a check if you want to write us a check. We love donations, but we do have great partnerships, and we love to talk about it. And GTR simulators, their machines and the sim rigs that they have. We didn't really like staying out till 8:30 on a Sunday night in a parking lot trying to figure out. At one point, Eddie, I wanted to buy. I'm gonna tell you the truth here. I'm gonna be truthful. I wanted to buy 8 rigs, so I said, "We got a discount here, and we got them on the hook. I think we need to do. We're gonna get 8 rigs." And we talked about it, went back and forth for a couple of days, and then Pat's like, "I think we're gonna do 4." And you won't hear me say thank God for Pat's wisdom too often, because it usually doesn't go together. But,
no. You said, hold on, let me interrupt you. You did say, hold on. Did you say 8 rigs or 8 wigs? Now, knowing both of you, it could be either or.
Okay. Yeah, this is true. Take your hat off, Eddie. What do you got going on there?
Anyway, go ahead. Yeah. Oh, brother. It is full head of hair.
He's blessed. He's blessed. So I wanted to buy 8 rigs, and Pat's like, "No, I think we're going to do 4." And we're out in the parking lot at 8:30 on a Sunday night, sweating and trying to figure it out. And there's a photo, Eddie, you had it up earlier. There's a photo. We had about 3 inches of spare to shut the daggum back door in that trailer. It was loaded up to the roof.
Out there playing Jenga.
We would have been strapping it like Beverly Hillbillies style to the back of the truck. So I'm glad we got 4. we did great with GTR. They're going to be a great partner going forward, and many other connections. You know, Matt Malone, and he came by, and he did great. We have a
Let
couple.
me interrupt you real quick, and just to kind of give the audience, I linked 2 things that should be in your chat if you're on Facebook or YouTube. One of them is the Matt Malone video where he goes around talks to other people about 30-minute mark. You see a goat locker, and there's a short where he kind of cut that segment out and had it as a short. Look, Goat Locker's always trying to branch out and meet new people, have partnerships with people. Matt Malone's a very big iRacing streamer, you know, and not that he's a really great streamer too. He's not just a butthole or anything. He's a good guy. So go show him. He showed Goat Locker some love, putting him in the video and then having a short. Let's show him some love, give him some views, some comments, some likes on both of those videos if you don't mind. It helps Matt Malone. I'm sure he would be gracious for it, but also it's good for Goat Locker to just kind of let people know what's going on. Maybe they'll check it out and they'll learn more about it. Sorry, Andy, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. Go on Matt's videos on the short and tell him thanks for giving us a shout out and giving us a chance and just being a decent human being and being an advocate for iRacing and simulator sports and competition and speed therapy. You know, just thank you for what he's doing for us. And Sean Cole, thanks again for your friendship and can't wait, you know, to get on there and have a conversation with Sean as well.
Well, I started the weekend out with an absolute banger of a joke with Patrick, and I can't believe you glazed over this, but I wish you had them readily available.
No, I don't.
Patrick was hand-delivered a very special pair of socks with his face on it.
Yeah.
So that just to be the first thing that I even do when I show up to Chicago, it was
so,
you know, peak comedy.
Yeah, I got those here. I'm going to show them on screen.
We've never met him in person, and he shows up in Santa-like fashion, bearing gifts. Bearing gifts. As Pat and I are having a kind of a somewhat private meeting over on the side about how we're going to do this and how we're going to do that. And he said, well, it's only fitting that I put them on. And so.
Oh, I did. I immediately put them on. I like them. I'm going to walk around with my own face on my foot.
The random looks at, is that guy really changing his socks at 10 o'clock in the morning and putting his own socks on? This is weird. And yeah, that's how we do it at Goat Locker. So welcome to the show.
Absolutely. And then to follow it up almost immediately with a picture for Jake Ellingson too. That was, you know, to mesh both of those together for actions 1 and 2 of the weekend where I just felt like that was top tier comedy. You can't show up wearing a Santa hat and not bringing gifts. I only wish I had something for Andy. But there we go. There's a very greatly edited picture.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on here.
There's a lot.
Yeah, it needs to be like a breakdown of all the things that are going on.
It's kind of hard to unpack that one.
But it does
honestly, it looks kind of like a dirt dauber nest in the background.
It does have the parental advisory sticker, so it's okay. It's acceptable. It's legal. It passed law. Yep.
Yeah. So that was, you know, it's only going to get bigger and better from here, Pat. As the years go on, the more events that I get to attend with you, the gifts are just going to get more and more outrageous. I promise you.
Oh, I can't be on any video or anything without somebody screenshotting it, and it immediately becomes a GIF or something. So.
Yeah, well, there's another one of these emotes on the way from not you, but for somebody else. It's on its way. We're waiting on the cooldown period, the soapbox cooldown period before it gets put in there. So,
no.
Is it 4th and 25 and we need to try back and punt?
No.
Do what? What'd you say?
Too soon.
Oh, I know what's coming.
Is it 4th and 25 and we need to drop back and punt?
We're not punting, baby. We're driving right up the middle. No, we're not punting. We don't punt, dude. We play no huddle.
Smash mouth, yeah.
Smash mouth football, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching. I can't remember what I was watching, but I got this list to a football game one time, and he said, "This is a slobber knocker type of a game," and I've never forgot it.
That's a good word.
That's kind of. I feel like that's slobber knocker type of a game. I feel like that's a lot of what Goat Locker's about.
Slobber knocking.
I don't know. Slobber knocker, it feels like a wrestling term, but he used it as a football term, and I never forgot it.
Yeah. Logan,
So.
back to you, sir.
That's not where I was going with that. Yeah.
No, just the whole event was insane. Just seeing that many people, and like Pat said, just walking in there and being a racing nerd, it just immediately you're smacked in the face with Husingfeld. You've got Gomez Simgear, I think
Industries, Gomez Industries.
Gomez Industries. They have fantastic wheels. Then Simucube right there. Then you go down a couple aisles. You got Podium 1 there with a bunch of rigs, and of course, just all the people. The way it was set up with having the competition arena too. That was such a cool touch to, step away from the booth for a minute, sit down, go watch a race for a couple minutes, and it's like, wow. This could be me if I would have signed up for it, but then at the same time, being a broadcaster, it's like, I want to do that. I want to stand in front of all these people and host a live event like that. I think that'd be so cool to just partake in. And so I've got goals. It might not be next year. It might not be 2027, but we'll see what comes about with it. And I know as long as, Goat Locker's going, I'm there. I had such a great time with everybody there. Jake, Pat, Andy, Cody, Daniel, Ray, Doug, all of them. It just the whole event. Pat says I wasn't doing anything. Well, that's because I was busy talking to the younger crowd. You and Andy are just
here we
big
go.
and scary. So, old
the
guys.
Gray beards and
I'm big and scary. I don't know.
The gray hair keeps the younger generation away. So I took control of talking to some of the younger folks, and it's just meeting all these new people and introducing them to what the mission is with Goat Locker. That was kind of my surreal moment of I didn't serve in the military, but I'm doing everything that I can to give back to the ones that did, and that was my tear to the eye moment once I realized that.
That was cool.
That's awesome.
And then what was also cool, well, one, I will tell you, you can't escape Jeremy Gardner. Even in Chicago, Illinois, you can't escape Jeremy Gardner because the 87 builder for Premier Setups was there, and he stopped by the booth, and he's like, and we're talking to everybody, and he's like, yeah, I know who you guys are. You're Goat Locker Racing. I watch your TikToks, your broadcasts, all this other stuff. We get chatting with him. He's like, yeah, I'm a setup builder for Premier. I'm like, oh yeah. Then we start talking about Brandon Evans, and his phenomenal hair, because he does have phenomenal hair. And then we start talking about Jeremy Gardner, and I'm like, I can't escape this guy. No matter where we go, he just keeps popping up.
It's like the 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon or something like that?
7
degrees, yeah. Well, for Jeremy, it's the 5 degrees of Jeremy Gardner.
It's probably the five types of STDs until you get to Jeremy Gardner.
The best part about it, though, is once Jeremy found out that Premier had talked to us, he immediately assumed that all we had to do was talk shit about him.
So what'd you say? What'd you talk about?
Who said this? Who said what? Well, if we're going to go that route, might as well just play into it.
Yeah. There were a lot of people that stopped by that knew who we were already.
Yeah.
Which was so cool to experience that, and we experienced it, last year at Bristol, experienced it a little bit at Charlotte as well when you guys were at the Coke 600. To know that we're becoming known is a surreal moment for me as well. When people walk up and they're like, yeah, I know who you guys are. And I'm like, what the what? Oh, okay. I mean, that's really, really cool. I got to sign a couple girls' chests. I mean, it was awesome, man.
Women.
Yeah.
No, he got me. He got me right there.
Yeah. It's good. It was awesome.
All right, guys. See y'all next week.
That was it. That's it. That's what got us canceled.
Patrick Traffic, everybody.
Let's play the intro. Let's start it. No. That's awesome, man. Any cool
far past it, Eddie, I do want to say thank you to Alexander PC. I want to tell them.
I was about to tee you up.
I'm going to
tee it up. Kicked the ball over. Right, I was trying to give you a 54-yard field goal, and you knocked the ball out of my hands.
Yeah. But thank you, Alexander. Thank you, TJ and his staff, for allowing us to be a part of that and in that booth space. and just seeing everything that they're a part of, and all of the great systems that they built for the entire Sim Expo was
Oh yeah.
the amount of work and effort and money that they put into this event was astronomical. And just please go on, throw them a like, throw them a dollar, buy a PC, whatever you can do, because a phenomenal company, an Army veteran, just amazing story and amazing people, and just another great partner of Goat Locker.
I love it. Any cool technology you guys saw there? I know y'all talked about that big rig that was up there. Anything that kind of stood out, something y'all haven't seen before, maybe something new?
I can't really think of anything that I saw that was just like mind blowing. I think probably one of the coolest things for me was Husinkveld launched their new wheel and wheelbase
Yeah.
at the show. They're not for sale yet, but that's the first time they had them out, and so to actually see them, and their GT3 wheel is, holy smokes, that thing is cool.
It's pretty
I
cool.
mean, that thing is really, really cool. And to see their wheelbases in action as well, I love their software already. So it may force me to spend some more money here in the future. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. But I think that was probably, I've seen a lot of the Gomez wheels. Cody McElwain, who races with us,
Yeah.
he was on the waiting list for one of their wheels, and the minute he got it in his hands, we got to see it. So I know Gomez makes these incredible things, and but yeah, that was one of the coolest moments for me, is just to see Husinkveld's new wheels and wheelbase, because they've never done anything like that. They're known for their pedals,
Yeah.
their shifters, things like that, but now they're stepping up into wheels.
Yeah, for me it was the realizing that I built 3 of my own rigs out of plywood or MDF or 2x4s. I built 3 of them myself, to see how far just the industry's come since I started watching, guys like Sean Cole and Darren Ganji and their show, and just trying to figure out what this whole sim racing thing was, and going from a Logitech G27 strapped to a desk, with no simulator chassis at all available to the general public at all,
Yeah.
to where we are now. And there's a rig next door to us at $174,500. That's just it's mind blowing to see
Yeah.
advancement over the last 10 years that we've come from, and it's also very encouraging that the sport is strong, the support is there, and I can't wait to see next year if we can blow that wall out and double the size of the room and make it twice as big as what it was this year, and let's get more vendors in, and let's get more people in, and spread the love of not only the sport that we all love, but also Goat Locker.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it was such a good idea for the organizers to put that together, and have people kind of rub shoulders with each other in the space. It's become it used to be, it's like, okay, do I want quality equipment, affordable equipment, and is it available? That is always pick two. You could never really get anything if it was good and affordable.
Right.
If you had something that was good and you could get it, well, you had to pay an arm and a leg, and it just always kind of seemed like you could only pick two. But these days, it seems like you can, and there is a lower tier, and then there's a pretty nice gulf to the higher tier stuff, as far as price and stuff goes. So I'm hoping that as more people, get into it, that mid range will kind of get a little bit more love. But there's been some new players that come in and hit that mark a few times. Under $1,000 is sort of the goal for me when someone's like, hey, I want to get into iRacing. My first thing is like, okay, do you like, or, if you don't think you'll get into it, G29, you always kind of start there. And then, but there, from there on, it was always just a huge investment. You would have to make some serious, you would get some really good hauls on Facebook Marketplace from people dumping their equipment after 6 months because they don't like it, but nowadays you can really hit that middle ground pretty well. And so it's cool to see so many people kind of stepping up, and a lot of smaller companies who are making things and innovating, come up with really cool ideas to kind of fill the space. So it's cool. It's cool to see stuff like this popping up. How many times have they done this?
It's the
Is it
first
time? Yeah.
First
okay.
one.
Cool. Yeah.
First
that's
one.
awesome.
Yep.
Well, it'd be cool to see, iRacing, get involved, from time to time in the next one or something like that. Because I think those are really cool. What was the big event with all the blue sim rigs? What was that
That
I
was
showed?
the competition arena.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
arena. Yeah.
What? Tell me more about that. I want to know more about that.
They hosted a bunch of races throughout every single day of the weekend and had them live broadcasted by, I think, a couple different crews. It didn't seem like it was the same two people for any two races, but yeah, they set it up so well. They've got it up there on the big screen in the background there. They had the live feed of what the production would be seeing. And then behind that, to the right, behind all the rigs, was the broadcaster's booth. And it just lined up with chairs in front of it. You had a perfect view of everything. You could make direct eye contact with the guys talking about the race and then look 2 centimeters to the left, and you've got the race right behind them.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. And who set that up? Was there a company doing that, or was that part of the event?
Well,
that was the chassis and the equipment, or the chassis, and then Alexander PC provided the monitor, the headphones, the keyboards, mouse, and computers for.
So it was sort of a coalition of
2025. Yeah, Alexander PC set
awesome.
all that up. They were just, what an effort on their part. Yeah, they hosted MX5s, an IndyCar race. They had some multiple different classes and different competitions. It was wild.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different racing with that. And I think that just came from being a brainchild of the guy who put it all together, George Anzaldo, I believe is how you say his last name. And yeah, just a fantastic, well put together event for being number one, in my opinion. That's you don't typically hit the mark with something that big as well as he did. I didn't hear anybody walking around really complaining about it by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible, and to watch all those things put together. But I think one of the other things too that kind of drew people to our booth, we were the only booth that had a stock car that was running ovals. Everybody else was running GT3s or some sort of road thing.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of people that were like, hey, you're the only ones doing ovals, man. Let me get behind the wheel, because we were running Xfinity cars at Chicagoland Speedway under the lights. And
nice.
So we had a lot of people come over, and it was just like, oh, finally an oval. We're like, yeah, come on, come check it out, And it was funny. I pointed it out a couple different times because you knew a lot of those guys there, guys and gals there, had spent some time on some of the other rigs, because the minute they sat down on ours, they're doing this number trying to find the shifters. And we're like, nope, it's a sequential over there,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
Oval racing is alive and well. Yes. Yeah.
I think it was just the right call to put it on Chicagoland too. Yeah. Coming back next season.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I mean, you got to talk to a lot of people about Goat Locker. Obviously, Goat Locker, from time to time, I kind of go, was that the right naming thing to do? And then in moments like this, I feel like, and obviously I'm joking, but in moments like this where I'm like, I think sometimes it is the right thing to do, because it's like, what, somebody walks over, what the hell is Goat Locker? What is that? You know what I'm saying? It's such a nice icebreaker to be like, hey, okay, Sim Cube. It's always, no offense to any companies that that might go back and watch this. Nobody's watching this, but anyway, Sim Cube or GT Fire. It's always like Sim Boys and the Hood, or whatever. And it's always something like that. And then you got Goat Locker Racing. And it's like, the hell is Goat Locker Racing? Like, what does this mean? So it's got to be cool to kind of have that icebreaker. Did you kind of feel that?
Yeah, and that's I mean, you bring up a good point. When me and Jamie decided to form this into a nonprofit, that was a big discussion. Like, would anybody get it? Was it so obscure that people were like, should we rename it? I don't know, Veteran something racing, or so it more talks about it. But we talked to a lot of different people, asked other people's advice, and it just came back to, just like you said, it's an incredible icebreaker. I get to tell a really, really cool story. It piques people's interest. And then we had one ARCA driver there, Cody Denson, I think. Yeah, Cody Denison. He was there with Alexander PCs. And we had a few people that is the most incredible logo I have ever seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Ray Ellingson put it in the chat too. One guy saw our truck in the parking lot. And it's like, I gotta go find these guys. That is the coolest looking logo I've ever seen. And, when I was talking to Cody Dennison, an ARCA driver, he's like, dude, I've got a graphic designer and what now? What is everybody laughing at?
I regret saying that, but it is what it is. I don't know what's coming out of my mouth sometimes when I'm saying it. I go into the sentence and I don't know how I'm going to get out.
This is like a court of law, Eddie. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Yeah.
Trust in that. I could have
said almost anything else, but
Yep, you nailed it.
Look, it makes me laugh, and that's all I care about. That's all I care about. I'm here for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to make me laugh, and that's it. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it was just kind of cool to get that kind of affirmation again, and then he was like, I got a graphic designer, and I've never gotten anything nearly that cool back from that guy. He's like, that's an incredible logo and name, and so we got a lot of that too. And then I'd be remiss to say too that that picture right there. So we took the 2 flags up from MK Fire Designs, and of course MK Fire Designs came on this year to help sponsor the sports car series. And they've just been an incredible partner. Mitch over there got those done for us. We were able to take them up and show them off, and people were just beside themselves looking at those things and the quality of them and asking about, where could they get one and things along those lines. So, from our logo, of course, being on a tent and everywhere else to having those there, was super cool, and I was so happy we were able to show off MK Fire Designs where we were there as well.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. It seemed like it was a great time. I'm so disappointed that I wasn't able to go. I didn't even want to talk about it because I was so disappointed. But there's always next year.
That's it.
It'll be back
next year. We'll do a live Go Talk Live Thursday night edition.
Oh man, I tell you, it would. I got a lot of plans for stuff like that. If I could ever I got to move to Indiana. It seems like, but
I may know a couple people. Logan, if you want to do some announcing next year, I might know a couple people.
Yeah, we'll clean the trailer out, Eddie. We'll come pick you up. Let's go.
Take a little detour.
Give us a week to get that thing cleared out, though.
Where all that shit's gonna go, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. I know Logan kind of hit on this too, but this has been something that we've, and V-Speed's always kind of talked about this too. Is how, sim racing, we all we love that, and it's great. But how can we, try something new? How do we push beyond the sim or just in the virtual world, take it to a live event or something like that? And that's definitely something that I would love to do. With Goat Locker in some way of having my thoughts were like having like a live broadcast of one of our league races at one of these events or at Nasty's or something like that. Something, that would be like, okay, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of get to, some sort of live event like that. I don't know if we can swing, 30 sim rigs and have a competition. But
we can do 4.
You can do 4,
Andy. We could do 4.
We got 4.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 if we get some spare parts.
Well, we got the 2 sling ones.
That's it. Hey, we're up to 6. Let's go.
Yeah. Another shout out to GTR real quick. We got the 4 rigs from them, and then in turn they donated 2 more. So we've got awesome. 2 more of like the sling style ones.
Yeah.
They sell for about $230 on their website. Yeah. He's like, dude, you guys can just have these. So we got 2 of those.
Dude, no kid.
Yeah. So be on the lookout. We're going to put those to good use. We're going to get them in the hands, somehow one way or another. But yeah, so not only were we loading up some stuff, and then we have to, and again, go to Alexander PCs. All those PCs that they built are for sale on their website right now. And you're going to get them at a really good price because, and that's all they were used for was the Sim Expo. So they were used for a couple days, and then they're up for sale. So if you can support, Alexander PCs, you're in the market for a new PC or whatever the case may be, they got some killer deals going on right now. We picked up 2 for ourselves, and they're bundling them together with the monitor, headset, keyboard, mouse, everything that you need to get after it. So, and an incredible price. We picked up 2 of those as well to bring back with us. So yeah, Alexander PCs.
Yeah,
now.
it should be everybody's first stop at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if we've got a lot of guys here who know very little about technology. I mean,
Right.
good Lord, a lot of old farts in this league, and I'm gonna tell you right now. And having somebody like Alexander PC that'll take care of you, you tell them what you want. They personally know Goat Locker. They know what Goat Locker does. They know what kind of games you're going to be playing. They know what the setup is going to be, what you need. To have them to be able to reach out and say, at a veteran organization, veteran-owned organization, and be like, okay, I'm from Goat Locker. I want to get this PC, and then have them tailor it to you is a godsend, because you can go to Best Buy and they're not going to know what the hell you need. They don't know. They're going to say the biggest, baddest that they can get out of you, get the most money out of you that they can, or just get you out of there. And they're not going to offer any kind of help or troubleshooting later. It's just going to be some half-ass type stuff. And then you got Alexander PCs tailor-made for this. So you see they go to these events. They know what it takes to get it done. So if you're going to buy a PC anytime soon, even if, I might get in trouble for saying this, even if it's a little bit more money than what you might find somewhere else, it's worth it.
Yeah,
it's
but
worth the little extra money.
Customer service too, along with that.
Customer service.
If you make a call, anybody in Goat Locker Racing, if you call anyone at Alexander and say, hi, it's so-and-so from Goat Locker, it's a done deal. You're taken care of. 100% will take care of it. Just like they did for Pat and I at the expo when they came over and took the computer apart and they started adding stuff to it. And we were like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, you guys need red LED lights inside the cabinet to make it glow better. And we're going to hook you up for free and make our logo look cool and your logo. And we're going to do all these things to the computer. And they did. And the computer
showed up one morning. Dude's ripping our PC apart. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
He's making air gun noise like, what I love though is it not only for the guy that doesn't know anything about PCs. If you go on their website and look, they got some really nice art pieces, man. They got some really nice, if you're into that type of stuff, they got some cool looking stuff. They've got etched glass on there. I mean, so many cool things. So if you want a fully water cooled PC, if you got something hard tubing, soft tubing, I think they got both. If you're into that type of thing, you want a really cool piece. Like I said, it's almost like you wouldn't want to use it. You'd mount it on your wall or something. We've seen some pictures. You go on their website and look, and it's just amazing. So, and then a lot of times you can go on their stream on their Twitch and YouTube and watch them build your PC. So it's kind of like Subway for PCs. You watch them build it. So pretty cool. I think if you're gonna buy a computer, if you have to ask anybody know where to get a computer, I don't know. I feel a little ridiculous, but I think you're gonna get Alexander PC. So next time you go buy a PC, let's go there. That seems like the best place for it. So
yeah.
All right. Well, man, what an episode. We have gotten pretty far into this, and for a lot of good stuff, but we have a lot of other things we need to talk about. But we got to cover some things real quick. And the first thing we want to cover is our Warrior Spotlight. We have talked about Hamza Khan all month long. All the broadcasts have him on there. But we continue on. He's the last SimRig recipient. He served in the U.S. Air Force for 6 years as a ground radio tech, deployed in Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, and he was stationed at Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho and Osan Air Force Base in Korea. And we're glad to have him. So that is our Warrior Spotlight for this month. And then, of course, everybody's favorite is Goat of the Week. It's my favorite. So I assume it's everybody else's favorite. That's how things work.
True.
And so going to start with you guys. If you came on the show, Logan, Andy, and you weren't prepared, this is your moment. Sorry about this, but I need a Goat of the Week. Who do y'all got?
I'll kick it off. I'm going to go with old school, the OG, the Godfather, Sean Cole. He's my Goat of the Week. He started this a long time ago. He came out to the Sim Expo. He did his show. He's done podcasts there. To be doing it this long in this industry, kudos to that. And even when there really wasn't much of an industry, 15 years ago, what are you gonna, highlight the G27. I mean, what is there to really review, you know? But he stuck with it and made a name for it. He knows who Goat Locker is, and he was receptive to us, and I appreciate that, and just appreciate the tenure that he put in over a 15, 20-year career doing this and trying to make this the best sport that it can be and give everybody all the information that they can have. So, Sean Cole, you're my goat of the week.
I love it. I love it. Mine's going to be Regis Clark. And the reason being is for putting Long Beach and IndyCar on the rain. I love it. So Regis Clark going to be my goat of the week for doing that, because that was sure enjoyable in the booth. I don't know if it was fun on the track, but man, it sure was fun to watch.
It kind of was.
Great fun. That was about it.
It'd make me sad that I missed that one.
You did. You missed a good one.
Man,
for go to the week for me, I've got to go with Dan Threlkeld.
Yeah.
Man, he absolutely killed it at the Chicago Sim Expo.
Mhm.
I don't think I saw him leave that booth one time, but maybe, just a 5-minute break. But he just put in work from the start of. Probably
he might have.
But he put work in from the start of that show all the way to the end and did not complain about it, talking to everybody that he could. So that was there it is. That's go to the week. Daniel Threlkeld.
It was great to meet him, and what a great servant to our mission. And Dan, you did a great job, and you deserve definitely a goat of the week.
Well, I think he's got the most goat of the weeks.
He does
so far. I definitely think he is.
You work that hard, you get what you deserve. You know,
I think I think at this point in time, he's got his ring in the hat for go to the year.
He might be here.
Yeah, I was gonna say
go to Hall of Fame. I don't know. We'll have to create that or something.
Yeah, we need to ban him and make him like go to the year, the GOAT Hall of Fame or something like that, so he doesn't get picked, because you could honestly pick him every week. Jacob Ellingson in chat says, "What the frick? That was me talking about building the Long Beach rain session." So I stand by it. I stand by it. Regis Clark, my go to the week. This is what it is, Jake. Sorry. Sometimes you don't get credit for things you do.
Very true.
And that's just part of life. This is a life lesson. It's a life lesson. Look, just sometimes you have to share credit when they didn't do anything. It's like you do the lab with your lab mates, and you do all the work, and they don't do anything but sit there and look around. The one that sat around and looked around was Regis Clark today. He's going to get credit, so I don't know. Anyway, Pat, sorry, go ahead. What's your go of the week?
Yes, I'm going to rewind all the way back to the beginning of the show. So for those that don't know, my brother's a paramedic firefighter. He's been on the fire trucks for probably 15 years at this point in time. And before that, he was a paramedic at one of the worst ERs here in Indianapolis, the only level 1 trauma center. So he has dedicated his life to serving others. And if you know anything about being a paramedic firefighter, they see the absolute worst of the worst and have to perform. So my go to the week, it's not only my brother, who is definitely not tuned into this because he sucks. No, he's an amazing human being. But the 343 firefighters that lost their lives on September 11th. I always say, the most courageous men, the strongest men, I've always said I've walked amongst giants, will run towards danger. They don't run from it. They're not scared of it. They run into the fire. And that's what those 343 servants did. And those are my goats of the week.
All right. Well, I'm glad you went last, because ain't nobody topping that.
Yeah,
imagine me saying Regis Clark after that.
And for the wrong thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't even him.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, this thing is dying on me. Restream is literally dead.
Oh,
I can't click back to the. All right, we're gonna deal with this.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, it's completely falling apart. Wow. Okay. Well, if the stream, I think my cam just went away as well, so I don't know what's going on. I'm locked into place.
Eddie's locked up. Oh,
there it is. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but none of this is working now. So
it'll be an emoji later, anyways.
If the stream ends, randomly, you'll know what happened. Everything just fell apart. But wow, I mean, what an incredible episode so far. We do have some stuff to talk about. The fall season is already kicked off, and it's been incredible. Honestly, it feels like I got hit by a F5 tornado so far because of all the things that's been going on. 7 nights a week. We're broadcasting 6 of them. And then on Monday nights, we're doing 2 races in one. So,
kudos to the V-Speed team and to you, Eddie, for that.
yes, thank you. I was hoping you'd give me kudos.
I wasn't going to give you go to the week after the Sim Expo. I was going to save it for next week. Little, like JV squad, go to the week. Junior.
I was hoping. I was just, God, please somebody acknowledge me.
You guys do what you're doing, and no one else is doing it.
We're just here for the Eddie glazing at this point.
I'm Irish. I don't like it. Stop doing it. But no, the team has been incredible. I got a shout out to Scott and Dave Regal for being available. This is hard. Okay, announcing a race normally is not that hard. Just going to be honest. Doing it great can be hard, I guess, but it's fairly easy to do. All right, but doing 2 races at once, having to swap back and forth, it's a lot to ask of them, and they've been really kind and honestly, no complaints out of either one of them. We tried something this week, and we'd love to hear your feedback on it. We're just trying to get that. The first charge was we're going to have the 2 races. We're only going to broadcast one each week and alternate. We didn't like that idea 100%. We said, okay, we want to make sure everybody gets to be on the show. We don't want to leave anybody out. And so we decided to show it both of them at the same time. How we're going to do it is still evolving. So we'd love to know the feedback. I love feedback, good or bad, about it. This week we tried to split the announcers where they had their own race. That way we can maybe stay on top of the stories that are going on, keep track of pit road, that type of stuff. So love to hear y'all's feedback about that, how we can improve it. Scott and Dave are pretty much they're ready to do whatever. So we're going to keep kind of pushing that button, see what we can get out of it, squeezing that lemon, if you will. So love to hear y'all in chat. I mean, what do y'all think about the ARCA East and West? Forget the broadcast part. What do y'all think about the split, the idea? I think Regis Clark, we can give him this credit. I think he was the one who talked about the East and West and said, let's split it up. We obviously had an issue, which is a unprecedented issue. We've had full races before, but not this many weeks in a row. So much hype around this Monday series that it just become overburdened by the roster and decided to split it up into 2 races. I don't know y'all's thoughts about it. Kind of let that kind of sit out there and y'all can kind of talk about it. It started out where we had to basically turn people away the first week, and I don't think any of us like that.
No. And so one of the charges that I've put out to, all the series directors, race directors, whatever, we call them, is that we will not turn people away. Yeah. There was a lot of talk about locking rosters and we're going to lock the roster. We've got too many people. I said, no, we're not turning people away. That's not why Goat Locker Racing exists. Goat Locker Racing is not a racing league. It is a nonprofit. We're here to serve others. So shut your ass up about freaking, locking rosters and turning people away, and let's figure out a way to make it happen. And all of us came together on Labor Day. We're all on our off day. A bunch of us jumping, into this meeting and said, we need to figure this out. And then once we figured it out, we dumped it on Eddie's lap and said, have fun with it. And we just walked away. Have fun, Eddie. This is what we came up with. And everybody just went to work, man. That's been one of the most, I say a lot of things that I do. I'm incredibly impressed with a lot of people. For people to take a day off, their Labor Day to jump in a meeting with my dumbass to try to figure out the solution to a problem. And they did so without batting an eye. And then after we get out of this hour-long meeting, hour and 20 minutes, however long, guys just went to work, man. Dan Crackeel went to work. Jake Ellingson went to work. You got done with what you were doing, Eddie, jumped right into Discord and said, let's figure this thing out. Dudes just went to work, man. And that so impressed by that all day long. And, we're getting ready to probably have to do that on Sundays as well. Sorry, Logan Sturgeon, I'm not locking your roster. We're just going to figure it out, buddy. And and that's an incredible problem to have. But anytime Goat Locker Racing comes up against something like that, we are going to figure it out. I will never turn a veteran away. I will never turn a first responder away. I will never turn somebody away that's here to support our mission. We'll figure it out. And everybody around, everybody that's in this inner circle, this team, whatever you want to call it, has the same mentality about it. Eddie, you don't want your kudos and all that other stuff, but you did the same thing. You're like, got it, gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure this whole thing out, because it was my idea to say East one week, West 1 week, and Eddie's like, no, that's not what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. So you can't be more blessed than that, to be surrounded by such great people that believe in what we're doing and believe that they're here to serve, and want to serve in any way possible, that they will free willingly give their time to do it. And I mean, holy shit, that broadcast is amazing. I mean, it is phenomenal. I mean, just going back and forth. And I loved, this past week that you kind of assigned each guy their own, your East, your West, so you can keep up with the storyline a little bit better. So you don't have to, you can keep up your guys leading here. You don't have to figure out who's leading over here.
Yeah.
And I think that was cool. And I know it's been a real strain on those guys as well. But everybody around here just steps up, man. And it's incredible.
I love that you're figuring it out now, as the ARCA presents that kind of situation. It's not really a problem. It's a good thing that we have that much participation. So I love the fact that you guys are figuring it out now, because it is going to have to be scalable, right? It's a good problem to have. We're going to have more than drivers than what we have now. At some point, it's going to become a good problem to have, because the organization is growing, and that means there's more participation. So I love the fact that you guys are trying to kind of figure it out a little bit and find your stride and come to grips with it. And then when you do, Xfinity Series, what do we have? 42 this week, was it? Was it 40,
Mhm.
42 drivers on Sunday?
Mhm.
I mean, you can only run so many. So every series will eventually get there. And, who knows, may have region 1 through 9 in the ARCA division. And, you got 400 drivers. We just don't know what the limitations are yet. And I'm not going to put limitations on Goat Locker, because sky's the limit. And we're always going to have the people and the heart posture in place that we'll just, like Pat said, Labor Day on a day off, we'll figure it out. And you guys rose to the challenge, and you guys will make it happen. So it's all good.
Yeah, the execution on that was phenomenal. So, just big props to everybody involved with it. Getting the banners and stuff separated between the East and the West, I thought that was an awesome touch. Everything that you did on the broadcast side of it, Eddie, and then, of course, Sky and Dave just knocking it out of the park on the broadcast itself. And, my biggest concern coming into that week 1, when we did unfortunately have to shy some people away from it because we didn't have this plan. Brian Frauheiger, he brought to my attention, well, what about the guys that just received a sim rig?
Yeah.
That doesn't feel very inclusive. And I wholeheartedly agreed with that. And I didn't have any idea as to how to fix it. So to know that we have such a great core group of people to figure things out like that, and that's a pretty tall challenge to be faced with. Who thinks of that when ARCA last season was struggling to get 2025 in a session? It definitely didn't seem like it was ever even close to a full field. Now we're at the point where next season's probably going to be 2 full fields of 43 cars.
Mm-hmm.
So it's incredible.
Yeah. And we just didn't want anybody to feel like the broadcast make you feel important. It just is what it is. People watch the broadcast because they want to see themselves. They want to hear themselves get talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And while this is still a challenge to get all that, to do that fully, 2 40-car fields is tough to talk about everybody. And it'll just never happen. There's only so much. There's only a limit of what you can do. But the idea is that all of you deserve to be on the broadcast. All of you deserve to have your flowers. If you win a race, you deserve to be interviewed on the broadcast in front of however many 400 people watched the one last week, which is a great viewership for any iRacing race, and very good for Goat Locker. So, that was the idea. Is I felt like we just wanted to make sure everybody could race and everybody can feel like they're a part of the show. They're not 1 week. Hey, can I watch your race tonight? No, that's next week. We had ours last week. We can't watch tonight. And so your family, your friends that normally watch your race, they can't watch you this week. Well, how do I watch you? You can't, and that's not good enough for me. So that's I wanted to see. I wanted to, and I love a challenge, and I think our broadcasters love a challenge too. Obviously, Dave and Sky seem to not have any issue jumping right into doing it. So, I love problems. I love solving them, and I love that we have a problem of too many drivers in a series. That's an awesome thing. We got six broadcast series, seven nights a week, and now 8 races in a week. Kind of crazy, man. So
get it out. Only going up from here, Eddie. Only going
well, for all the complaints and stuff that went out, and honestly, like Logan said, the complaints were valid. The complaints are completely valid. Brian Frauheiger, I want to sim a rig and I want to race here. That's something that we have to do. People who have been here for a while, for sure, who say, well, I missed the race, I didn't qualify in. That sucks. I set aside this time to be here. That sucks. That sucked really, really bad. So, I'm glad that we've got people that are willing to go the extra mile, like y'all said, and do the things we need to do to make sure everybody can race and we don't leave anybody behind. It'd be really weird for a veteran organization to leave somebody behind. It'd be real weird. So I love that Pat. I love that you are just kind of like a brute, blunt. So we're not telling nobody no. Like, we're not telling people no. We're gonna figure this out. And I love that. So
it's been fun. Yeah. So cool. So cool. And again, we can talk about it forever, but it's really cool, man. You go back and forth, and now we took a problem and we turned it into a much better solution, because now, hey, anybody that continues to join Goat Locker Racing can still race on Monday nights. So they can still join the ARCA series, because now we have plenty of spots for them. I mean, I think each East and West is, 28 drivers a piece ish.
33.
Yeah, 30. Oh gosh, yeah, that's right. It has been in the 30s in both East and West. All right, so we've got a few spots left in each series.
Well, what I love is that the Monday series is sort of turned into like this playground of how do we deal with certain problems, because you don't get good at things without doing them. And so you don't learn how to deal with problems unless you have the problem. And so the Monday series is a lot going on. I mean, there is no doubt that it's a lot, because you have the Pro Am split. And in the team championship is sort of gone kind of on the back burner a little bit, just because there's a lot going on. It was never really a super official thing anyway, but that'll be something that we'll keep up with. I mean, Kirkill's got a spreadsheet that looks like an accounting firm put it together. But you got a Pro Am split in each series, and each West and East. And then I think the plan is, once we get down to playoffs, is to kind of funnel all the playoff drivers into their own series, which I think is such a cool idea. So the Monday series, it's funny. I shouldn't say this either, but I'm gonna. The Premier Series are Premier Series for a reason. The competition is Premier. Yeah. But what I love about the Monday Series is it's Premier in its own way. It's just a sort of playground, a sandbox of how can you make league racing a little bit more interesting than it has been in the past. How can we do different things, come up with ways, strategies to deal with overpopulation, different skill levels, and that Monday series the past year has just been that, where it's and it's the reason why it's most popular, I think, because a lot of people have put a lot of work into making it cool. It's just cool. It's got so many good things going for it that I love. Not to say the other racing is not good, because I'll tell you what, this past week the racing has been fantastic. Great. That IndyCar series, it was awesome. 20 people showed up to run Long Beach in the rain. That's insane. So there's a lot of good racing going on. The Xfinity series putting out almost 43. The Wednesday night, the Premier series, they're 2025, but that's by design.
It is.
It's designed to have the best product that you can put on the track, and it every week those deliver. Then you got the Thursday night late models that is just constantly people are trying to join that one as well, and then the GT3 series, which is my favorite, that is just kicking ass. I mean, 30 something people last week. I think pretty close to 30 drivers for a GT3 race. Pretty sweet. So. Man, awesome stuff this season so far, and it continues to get better and better. So yeah, we'd love to hear more feedback about that, the East and West stuff. Obviously the ARCA series in general, how to deal with these problems. Opinions may not get used, but they sure are taken into consideration. I can promise you that.
Mm-hmm.
A car and track combo for this charity race. We got a charity race coming up, Pat. Or do y'all want to talk about anything for this season? I kind of skipped over that. Did y'all have anything y'all want?
No, I mean, the racing's been really great. I mean, I really appreciate everybody that has come in and put their time, energy, and effort into making things work as well as they're working. Jake Ellingson's done a phenomenal job of keeping up with everything and just making sure, we had an issue last night with the next gen. The first session wouldn't launch, and then the second session,
Japan?
because of the new update, you actually have to select your region. So then it was in Japan, and everybody was getting bad ping levels. So then he had to go make a third session. So everybody's just stepping up, and the racing it's been phenomenal. It's been a little bumpy here and a little bumpy there, but where's it not going to be? But yeah, so on October the 8th, we have our charity race. We're building everything at this point in time. So you're going to start seeing some graphics and things like that. We have this huge pool of prizes that we're going to put into it as well. And this isn't going to be one of those races like, hey, first place is going to get the signed helmet. No. First place is definitely going to get their little prize and all that other stuff. But all these big prizes that we're talking about are going to go into this pool. And so if Logan, donates $20 to Goat Locker Racing and wants to go run the race and makes it through the heat races to the main event, actually, I think he's already in the main event because he won a race this year. So we need to really rethink that criteria. If Logan donates his $20 and he's in the main event, that $20 gets you entered to win all the prizes. So if the first prize we draw is the Kevin Harvick signed helmet, he doesn't win that one. His name goes right back into the hat for the Kyle Larson diecast. And we're going to do those throughout the broadcast. IndyCar diecast, by the way, too. 1/18th scale.
Got one of those signed.
Yeah. So we're going to, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't. Ooh. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'll happily add to the collection.
Jeez.
As you can tell, that is a whole Larson shelf right there. So
I get it. But we're going to put a lot of really cool things into this to get people interested. We are talking to iRacing right now to be able to broadcast this race on their channels, our team, but their channels. So I should be getting word back on that here very shortly. And so we're going to just make this big thing about it. We're going to have a race, and it's going to be incredible, and we'll do the donations. Jamie Barkus and Ryan Pendleton are heading up the details of the whole thing. And so Jamie's going to start putting out more and more information of where to sign up. And if Logan decides, hey, I want to donate $50, it's going to get you more entries into, these prizes. And again, your name goes right back in the hat. If it doesn't get pulled the first time, right back in the hat for the next round of prizes that are going to come out. We want everybody to have an equal shot at getting some of the cool stuff that we've collected. And then we're talking a little bit about today about maybe putting up one of the MK Fire design flags in a separate auction. We've got the smaller one. Oh, hey, easy, Andy. Easy. He's over there gorilla gripping it again. But that is the medium-sized flag right there. I have a very large one sitting next to me that'll probably never leave my home. But that's okay. And so we're talking about putting one of those into it as well. And I know, Logan, you were up there and saw these flags. I mean, they're just incredible.
That was the one thing that I wanted to buy at the Sim Expo, the absolute most. Of everything there, it was an MK Fire Designs Goat Locker flag. It was so cool.
It's right here when you're ready for it, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
It'll look good on the shelf right back there on your...
I need to have a different background is the problem.
Well,
I got a GTR banner for you. But, yeah, we do. We have them. Yeah, GTR also gave us a bunch of banners to put up, as we're streaming.
Oh,
and
sweet.
Too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. GTR is going to be phenomenal moving forward.
Yep.
But, we've kind of gone back and forth. We're like, what's going to put on a good show, but people are going to have fun with? And so the original idea was to put the Cup cars at Atlanta Motor Speedway. See, there's Mitch from MK Fan Design.
Nice.
Hey,
Everybody.
Yeah, and so we got back and forth. We thought, Cup cars at Atlanta, and then we had the Cup race at Atlanta last night, and we're like, no, absolutely not, no. And so we've talked about a couple things. We talked about putting in the ARCA car at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've talked, a couple different things. And I realize every time we say, hey guys, give us your ideas, and then somebody's going to say, let's put the freaking legends at the Irwindale Figure 8. We're going to get the off the wall, who knows? Let's put jumpy trucks at Talladega.
jumpy trucks at Nürburgring,
which, by the way, is actually pretty fun. The jumpy trucks at Talladega is pretty fun. But like a serious car track combo, this charity event on October the 8th, we're going to put a lot behind it, but we also want to put on a good show. I'm already talking to guests that are going to come on and talk during the broadcast and things like that. I had a wonderful meeting today with Taylor Kitchen. I mean, we need to get her back on the show anyway. What better time to do that, to bring her on board? And then my good friend Luke is in. Luke, a retired Navy commander, who's an incredible friend of mine and an incredible supporter of Goat Locker Racing. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. And we're going to put on a great show. There's going to be qualifying races, but we want to raise a lot of money, obviously. There's a lot of really cool things that we really want to do. One of the things that we truly want to do is to be able to provide one of our sim rigs to a first responder, and we're going to get there. We got some really cool equipment, when we went to the Sim Expo, so we get able to use a couple different things. We really want to start expanding our mission. So I'm psyched up. Again, we just said the hell with it. We ain't got enough shit going on. Let's pile on a bunch more work. Let's put a charity race together. And it's during the off week at least, right? So, hey, there's no other racing that's going to be happening that week. So we're going to have qualifying races probably Monday, Tuesday. The main event will head off on Wednesday. And, a lot of cool stuff is going to be behind it. So more information to follow.
Yeah, well, and if we do able to broadcast the race on iRacing channels, it'd be a great opportunity. Another opportunity for Goat Locker to kind of expand out of sort of these sort of enclosed spaces you get in sometimes whenever you get into an algorithm and you can't really get out or something like that. It's be able to broadcast on iRacing, get that exposure. I think really, really cool. And I know that our team can put out a fantastic product there. And I know our racers will understand that, don't make this about you. If we do, it's not going to be about the singular. It's going to be about the collective, about the group, and don't forget that when you try to go 3 wide or something, you try to stick it in there and you're going to think, oh, we'll take this low risk move. Maybe don't do that.
Yeah. Let's, somebody's going to do it.
Yeah. Somebody's going to do it.
Somebody's going to want their 15 minutes of, there it is. There he is. Yeah. Because you know what the best part about that whole thing was, Eddie? Logan raised his hand because he already knew he wasn't going to be one of the broadcasters because he's not that kind of quality guy. He's like, I'm just going to be in the race.
Hey.
Actually, if we're being fair, it's kind of planned on a day that may or may not be my fiance's birthday.
Oh.
So we'll see. We'll see if I can work my magic to get into that one.
Yeah.
Well, tell her for a really good cause.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's in your honor, babe. I mean,
yeah. I'm racing for you tonight, baby.
That's right.
She'd be like, okay, I know it's your birthday, but
and then put her actual age as the number on your car.
Oh.
Yikes. Well, that might be the last time you see me.
Okay. That's fair.
Well, good gosh. Well, what a fantastic show tonight. We covered a lot of stuff. I mean, the season has been incredible. Point standings really don't matter. All that kind of stuff really doesn't matter right now. But congratulations to all the winners this week. Everybody that that have got the podiums, got wins. Congratulations to everybody. Man, these weeks are going to fly by before you know it. So if you're trying to get in the playoffs, you better get stuff in the right get going in the right direction. It'll be here before you know it. Let's see, make sure we're not missing anything. Looks like we covered
Ellingson tonight with all the stats he's been given through the commentary here. He's got quite the stats going in the chat. So good job, Jake Ellingson. Way to keep up with it, man. Thanks for tuning in and keeping up with all the stats in the chat.
There you go. All right. I don't know what that means, but good job. Good job, Jake, for keeping up with the stats. All right. Well, we got to thank Taylor Kitchens for letting us be a part of ATYL Media. Thank y'all so much for watching here tonight. I want to thank Pat, Logan, Andy for coming on, telling us about the Sim Racing Expo in Chicago. It was a blast. Maybe we'll have some more stories down the line and cover some more stuff of it. But you can go check the pictures out on the events section of Goat Locker Racing. I'm sure there'll be some posted on Facebook and other places if they're not already. We got to thank SAVE22 for their sponsorship of this podcast. Also, the Friday Night Truck Series, and just an overall amazing partner. Very similar goals that could not be more aligned. And we're so glad to have them a part of this. And as always, at SAVE22Vet on YouTube, save22.vet on their website. Go check them out. See what they got going on. Go follow them on Facebook if you're not. And go check out Tuesday Talk if you haven't in a while. Keep up to date what they got going on. And yeah, I posted in chat. I'd like to kind of reiterate. Make sure you go into Matt Malone's YouTube and giving him some views, giving some likes, comments. Helps him, but also helps Goat Locker kind of get out there and let him know that, hey, we'd love to collab with anybody that supports Goat Locker. So maybe that'll encourage him a little bit. So we'd love to collaborate with other creators. Makes it a lot of fun when you can share in success in the space. So all right, guys, thanks to all the other sponsors out there. I mean, gosh, we hit them all. Invets, we got to thank Glove Station. We got to thank Lincoln Tech Cruising Classics, MK Fire Designs. We got SAVE22 we talked about already. I said Invets already.
You did.
Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs.
There we go.
Got to always thank them. They're the best. And everybody that makes things go. Yeah, Alexander PCs, all the Sim Rig sponsors, everybody that makes Goat Locker. Of course, you guys for watching, but also everybody for racing, man. Everybody that wants to be a part of Goat Locker. We appreciate y'all being here, making it feel alive, man. If I ever get lonely, I fire up the Discord. There's always someone there to talk and talk some trash, have a good time. It's great. So. We don't always get along. But it's all love in the end, man. And that's what I love about Goat Locker. So, all right, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye.